So, welcome to the Triple M podcast, where we're talking about movement, mindset, and motivation. So, it's a little bit of a message regarding how we can encourage people to move more, improve their mindset, and just stay motivated with their health and fitness. So, today, I'm joined by a very, very good friend of mine to kind of just take me and start me on this journey of podcasting, something that obviously I'm not very familiar with, but obviously for him, he is. Happy to have you here with me to support me on this journey. But yeah, JT.
Hey, that was a good intro, you know. You say that you was rushing it,
I'm nervous.
No, you did your thing, man. No, thank you for bringing me on board to help you with this.
Thank you for
I just
coming,
want to
bro.
say, George, I'm super proud of you, man.
Appreciate
We've
you.
spoken about this severally, like, for time.
Yeah.
And then there was one day you were just like, nope, I'm going to do it, man. That's all it takes. And now we're
Procrastination
here.
was so real, bro.
Bro,
Literally,
we all
just
go
like,
through it.
for the longest time, it's just like trying to get everything perfect, but just like what I kind of want to show people on this podcast as well, like people that know me know I'm far from perfect by a long shot, but just like I want you to see the development and the changes, whether that's from an editorial standpoint, how I'm speaking. So obviously I'm hopefully a little less, see, I'm stuttering, a little less nervous moving forwards, but like, it's like what I do as a personal trainer. I want to help people progress. And it's like, you don't start as the finished product. You want to obviously see the development as you go along. So hopefully people that tune in and they lock in and they support, they can actually see the growth and the development as we kind of go along with this, man.
Facts. And I'm sure they will. And I feel like this episode will be a springboard for all of that.
Yeah.
Because I think with what you're trying to build, people need to kind of know you. And from
100%.
us having planned this episode from before, that's the essence that we want to get across. Obviously, for those who don't know me, I'm Jerome JT. I run my own platform called Where's My TV, which is in the fashion world,
That's
not the
that
fitness world. It's not even a little
Aye,
plug.
plug
just-
that up, though.
I need-
Plug that up. Run it up,
Obviously,
man.
yeah, I have my own podcast where I interview people. So George and I spoke, and we was basically like, you know what, George, I might as well just come on and ask you questions so that people can learn more about you. So that's obviously why I'm here.
100%.
And yeah, bro, honestly, George, I'm sure after this conversation, if I'm able to ask the right questions,
Yeah.
people will really start messing with this. Do you know what I'm saying? You reckon, yeah?
100%. And like, part of what I want to do with the podcast as well is just like, I'm going to be normally in the chair interviewing people and just kind of educating people from different angles, whether it's from health, mindset, fitness, motivation, and just kind of, I want you to really gain value from these podcasts and these episodes and stuff like that. So usually I'm going to be in the interviewing chair, but like, I want to kind of use this episode for you guys to just understand, get to know me a little bit more so that you can actually hopefully resonate, and hopefully if there's a nugget that you can take from each episode that you can actually physically apply and just use for yourself. That's kind of what I want to do, is just like applicable tips and advice that, do you know what, like I've listened to this episode, I can actually do it and use that information to improve without even spending a penny, that sort of vibe.
Facts, because not everybody can, or a lot of people don't feel as though they can even afford to indulge in fitness.
100%.
But I'm sure that's a misconception.
One of the barriers, bro.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I'm
is.
saying. And,
It's
like,
real.
that's part of this actual message and mission, is just breaking down people's barriers, because a lot of the time, whether it's physical barriers, financial barriers, mental barriers, people are having barriers that are stopping them and preventing them from actually taking the first step. You could have barriers that you don't even know or are aware of. And just like, I see it all the time with just like, when you speak to people and actually understand what they're actually saying to you, like you can actually do this if you just kind of remove the kind of fake barrier, not fake, that's not fake, but just like, we have mental barriers, even myself, that are preventing us from doing different things. Like today, took us about 20 minutes to start actually getting an introduction, because I was just like all nervous and stuttering, but like that's my mental barrier to kind of get me over the hurdle. I thought, you know what, let's get into it, let's get started, man.
Hey, bro's dropping gems already, you know? We say 5 minutes in, George. Hey, George, slow down.
It's got my good side, though. I like
Bro,
that.
we need to save this content for future episodes, bro. But you know, let's get
shorts.
into the proper conversation. And for me, I always like to start from the most important thing, which is like who you are, like the beginning, the essence. So who is George?
Do you know what it is, bro? When like you're asking that question, I'm just like, I don't even know how to introduce myself other than my name's George. I'm 27 years old. I've been in the fitness industry for about 6 or 7 years. But like, if I'm really kind of going deep back into it, just like, gone are the days where we used to obviously play football and I just used to run around JT on the pitch.
Oh,
like he was
George, we're
a
not
shocking
having this
football player.
convo, bro.
A shocking football
We're
player.
not, because this is your podcast,
had
I'm not going to tell them the
had you-
truth, bro.
had you stopped?
Broski, I'm not going
With
to
your
tell them
little,
the truth.
your little Rasta hat, innit? Oh my days. But like, I've always been someone that's been physically active. So some would say that it's easy for me to get into fitness, but like, it's definitely helped being physically active from a young age, playing football. I think when I got to about 13, I was taking football quite seriously, broke my arm on the pitch, and I just kind of just got put off with the sport. So then I started to play basketball. That was kind of like the love and the passion, and that's kind of where I wanted to move in the future. So that kind of stopped at about 18, but I've always been heavily into sport. Then 16 to 18, I started to kind of train, make mistakes as you do. Like, no one's perfect when you start going into the gym, but like, it's important just to kind of trial and error, make mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and just kind of, people would come to me, even though I probably didn't have a clue back then, which I definitely didn't. Pardon me. People would come to me and ask me questions, ask me for advice. And like, when they would actually take it on board, they would see a difference or a benefit, whether they lost a little bit of weight or got a bit fit or could able to, I don't know, do a push-up better. It's, people got a benefit from the things I actually said and presented. So like, I started to kind of feel satisfaction from, you know what, I've helped you get from A to B. But I like that feeling. So then obviously got qualified as a PT, failed that exam a lot of times. The physical part and the proactive part wasn't difficult. It's just the mental and the paper stuff. But kind of getting into the industry, getting experience, is just I love it even more. 6-7 years in, I love it as much as I did when I first started. And just the mission and the message has always just been the same. It's just helping people get from A to B, because there's a lot of, especially now, bro, health conditions, health concerns are just growing and growing and growing and growing. So then a need for us is still there. But just to kind of summarize it, I get a big kick and a big amount of satisfaction just helping people just get from A to B, literally. I think that's, I don't want to just say I'm just fitness, because I have other hobbies. I like to travel. I like to go out to eat. I like to live a good and happy, balanced lifestyle. It's not, fitness isn't just my whole life, but it's not just a job to me. It's a big part of who I am as a person. So that's kind of what I would say for anyone. Obviously, I'm not sure what you would say I'm like, but that's a big part of who I am, 100%.
The last thing you said is a great segue to the question I had in my head from immediate as you started talking. Because usually when I ask the question, who is a person, I expect them to just kind of speak about, their interests and, you know, things they like doing with their time and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And this wasn't a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
Your answer was a good answer, because you went in to speak about, like, naturally you went straight into fitness and what it means to you. So my question is like, and I'll say maybe you kind of answered this, but I kind of want you to go into more depth. Like, why is fitness and, you know, health and these things so important to your self-identity? Because that's how it seems to me from the outside. And I don't think that's as common as you might think. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I feel like it's scary, bro. I think it's scary to not be fit. Like, you see people around you, whether it's friends or family, whether they're overweight, they've got health conditions, it's scary. You're shortening your lifespan. And I'm not necessarily worried about my lifespan, but just like how, even in this day and age, your life could be cut short, or your lifespan could be cut short. It's so easy just to get caught up in the noise. But just like, it's, I don't know, I think just being active as a young person, playing sport, just kind of, it's kind of like the natural pathway, isn't it? You know what, you play sport, you don't make it, you fail, whatever, and you get into personal training. That's what any Tom, Dick and Harry does that has half a brain. But I wouldn't say I have half a brain, but just like, I've always... some may why is he laughing? Some may disagree, but like, someone said it's the easy thing to do. You know what, quick 6-week course, make some money and you're sorted. But just like, I don't know, man, it's just like, I don't, week to week, just like health and fitness and training is a big part of who I am physically and mentally. And like, because I think I'm quite a caring person, I want to make sure the people around me are healthy as well. Like, before I even started taking money for personal training or being hired as a coach from people, I've always wanted the people around me to be better, whether that's...
Do you know what, George? Let me cut you there, because I'm happy you brought that up. And I just want to use this opportunity to say that you are telling the truth, because I don't know if you remember, there was one time when we were in uni, I think I was in first year or second year, and I hit you up, I was like, George, I'm trying to get fit, and you sent me a fitness plan. A full fitness plan. And obviously at this point you were still studying, you hadn't worked in the industry yet or nothing. Yeah. Like, out of the kindness of your own heart, you just, bro, man said, eat this, do that, da-da-da. Obviously I didn't do it, but it's the thought that
people don't listen, bro. People don't
obviously listen. It's the thought that counts, but I just wanted to use the opportunity to say that, no, you're a G for that. And hearing you speak in this way, of course we're friends, but I know you probably would have done this for people that aren't your friends either. Do you know? Exactly, you still do. So no, big up you for that, man.
Because like, you can use it as a way of marketing your business. Like, get someone's email, send them a free program. Cool. And I'd be lying to say if I didn't do that from a marketing perspective, because at the end of the day, when you have a business or when you run a business, you need to market so then more people kind of get a taste and get a feel for what you do. Because with my line of work, people need to get a taste of what you do, because they're not just going to trust you with a large sum of money straight away. And where generally I come from a place of wanting to help people better themselves, it's nothing. I've got sample programs that I'll send, even if you wanted another program to do now that you probably wouldn't do.
Look at you, have changed.
I'm not being very encouraging. This is the motivational podcast. But like, I still do these things now, even in the gym I work at. Like, if people can't afford my services, like people have different circumstances, struggles, needs, I will literally send someone a program and like, crack on with this, let me know how you get it. And like, even just to touch on the program thing, because I can chat all day long, there was, I can't remember her name. I think her name is Jessica. That's it, Jessica. She wanted to learn how to do a pull-up, but our kind of diaries wouldn't align with actually training together. So I just said, try these exercises, do this program at least twice a week. 3 months later, she's done her first pull-up from not being able to do it.
Big up Jessica.
And she hasn't actually trained with me once, spent any physical time with me, and just like, oh my God. She came up to me one day in the gym and was like, oh, let me show you something. And that, seeing that, I was like, wow, that's proper fulfilling. And like, she hasn't paid me a penny. So it's not, yes, the money is important because at the end of the day, you work a job, you work a 9 to 5, whatever you do, you need to earn a living to put food on the table. But just like, if at some point she wants to work with somebody, it's definitely going to be me, or I'm going to be the top of her list because I've helped her without expecting something in return. And I think that's very, very, pardon me, that's very, very important.
Do you know what? We kind of started touching on your career within the industry. I want to take it back to the kind of beginning. And one question I kind of always ask in my podcast is like whether people knew that these things were a job. Like, maybe it's not as applicable to this conversation, but how did you know you could become a PT? And what did you kind of have to do to become one?
Do you know what? At the time when I was just kind of like helping people just to kind of do certain things and just better themselves, it wasn't a thing where I thought, okay, I'm going to become a PT. I just felt like that was the natural pathway. Because like, for me, I've been very resistant. I've had a lot of crappy jobs in my life and just like, never really liked to listen to people above me. And just like, I've got to do something for myself. Like working like little retail jobs, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, we've all done it. We've all been there. And just like,
M&S, me.
These were never the places that I wanted to work in. And I was always, even in those places there, like trying to find the healthier options of things to eat. Like, I used to work in a bloody bakery in Sainsbury's, and don't get me wrong, I'll be smashing those jam donuts every now and then, but just like the natural pathway just came from, I had just a massive interest, wanted to do it. Then obviously you do a 6-week course that everyone does. You don't obviously really learn anything on that course, or for me personally, I didn't really learn much. But it's just about kind of what you do afterwards and how you kind of develop and improve your skill set. But that's kind of the natural pathway of doing that. Then since then, it's just kind of like getting into it. I went to uni. Obviously, we went to not similar unis, but unis that were not too far from each other. And just like, even being at uni just felt like a waste of time for me. Like, I generally just I didn't need to be at uni to do what I wanted to do. So then when I dropped out, for the reasons that I dropped out, I just thought, you know what? I'm going back into retail just to make a little bit of money, finish my qualification and just get started. And that's where it started at Virgin Active literally 6-7 years ago. Literally.
Flipping hell, you got some skin in the game, you know that?
Bro, I should have more. If I skip uni, I would have more.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be 27 years old with 10 years in the game, bro. That's not many people can say that. Not many people can say that.
Yeah. So when you first started at Virgin Active, what was that sort of experience?
Do you know what? Even there, I was actually a receptionist because the path, like I knew what I wanted to do. So when I started at Virgin Active, I was actually a receptionist. So I thought, you know what? Let me just get my foot in the door and just get a job as a receptionist, because I wasn't qualified at that stage. Like I said, I kept failing the exams. Pass your exams, pay attention, don't make silly mistakes. But I was a receptionist there. But what was really good, and what I learned from being a receptionist at Virgin Active, shout out the Barbican crew, that's gone now, but is actually just learning to speak to people, getting to know people that actually come to the gym. So then when I transitioned to being a PT, which was quite easy, shout out my manager Josh, she literally has made a massive impact. And even today, I don't even thank him enough. So I'll definitely thank you again, Josh. Like, he's literally taught me a lot over the years. And obviously even now we don't even work or in the same capacity, but I still use the things that I learned from back then. But just like transitioning straight to being a PT was quite easy because I knew the people that came to the gym. So then I just started doing what I wanted to do. And I didn't feel like I had a job. I was just there training people. And
doing something you enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly. And it is tiring. It can be stressful, especially more mentally than physically. But just like the reason why I do what I do is to help people get from A to B and just kind of achieve what they want to achieve. And that, if you have people that want to do that, it's the most fulfilling thing there is, I think, personally.
Although you're saying it was an easy transition, like, what's that like what was it like when you were first actually training people though?
A bit scary.
Talk to me about that.
It was a bit scary because like, obviously everyone knew me to be a receptionist, didn't it? So it's just like, wow, this guy has just actually just changed his uniform and just gone into the gym floor.
yeah.
But like, I've been training, so I've got experience training. and like it was pretty smooth. So from then, what needed to happen now was to kind of just get my name out there, let people know what I'm doing, and get busy. And like I got busy quite quickly because you know what, you don't have clients, you don't get paid. Simple as that. So it was a big gym as well. So just kind of getting to know people, just filling up my diary and just kind of understanding that people need to see you before they actually try you. Do you know what I'm saying? So just kind of having people see what I do on the gym floor and just showing them I'm not just a receptionist. No disrespect to anyone that works as a receptionist, but just like, that's not what I was doing. That job was to get me through the door so then I can actually do what I wanted to do. Then just went from there, to be fair to you.
And going forward, obviously now you've got experience, well, you're actually training people. Was it what you expected it to be?
What do you mean, in what sense?
Like, because obviously you went to study it, you know what I mean? So you would have had experience here and there doing it, I'm sure, in your course and things like that. But when you actually become one, often they say it's like when you're passionate about something, once it becomes a job, sometimes people lose the passion for it. But when I speak to you, it's like, you don't strike me, that doesn't spring to mind in any way, shape or form. It's like you have the same energy that you had prior to starting this career till now.
If only you saw everything.
It's true. Very true. Yeah, I don't see it.
To be fair, I'll be honest with you. I'd be lying if I said I haven't lost the passion for this for the career, man. I have not right now. Obviously, I love it as much as ever. But like, there has been periods and there's stages where I've not felt passionate. There's been times where I've wanted to stop because a lot of people just see it as, okay, you're just someone on the gym floor just cutting reps, and that's not what it is at all. Like, you're helping people do things correctly, and depending on that person's physical and mental capacity, this is what you need to understand. It can be more challenging. Also, as well, for me, it's never been a thing where, you know what, 60-minute session's done, see you next week. I've always tried to help people outside the sessions, because it's not the hour that people spend with you. It's the 200 and however many hours outside of the training session is important. Like, what are you eating? How much are you moving? How are you sleeping? It's the habits that create your behaviors, that create your actions, that lead to your results. So I was very like, I didn't want to ever be seen as someone that didn't care. Don't know why, but just massively, I just didn't want to be seen as someone that didn't care. So just helping people, but it was at times just so mentally draining, especially during COVID. It was just like up and down spirals of just like, okay, cool. Like, am I going to have a job? Am I going to earn money this month? Am I going to struggle? That sort of thing. It's very like, even now it can still be up and down, but just like, I think when you understand what the job entails completely, you'll really understand and answer to yourself, do I want to do this? And the answer is yes, because what you're not taught is how to be a people person, how to understand people, how to kind of like be people. You're people's therapist, but people tell me some not like a
People
lot
tell
of
you stuff.
close things that you wouldn't expect to talk about. And it's just about how can you manage, how can you help people? And just like when you allow your personality to kind of be yourself, I think you enjoy the job a lot more, and just like understand it. It's not just about, okay, how much can I smash you for 60 minutes? It's not, okay, this person's a little bit stressed today. I need to kind of approach this differently. This person's ready to rock and roll. I need to approach this differently. It's just like, it's not following a training program that you've written up for the person and just doing it. Because a lot of the time, people are just not robots. They've got things going on in their lives. And I think this job, if you really love it, gets really fulfilling if you can understand people. And I think I understand people quite well now. And like, since I've understood people a bit more, communicated, spoke to them, deep delved into like what their why is, what their goals are, what they go through, it's been more interesting and much more enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? Because I think before I was just like following my training programs and just hoping that they were getting to the results. Yeah. But now it's just like, okay, cool. Like, there's more of a personal touch to it, and it's just makes it more. People are really, really interesting, but like, you don't find that out if you just smash them in a gym session and they can't walk out.
Yeah. That's a really interesting insight, George, and I think it speaks to the perception I have of you as a personal trainer. Obviously, I've been trained by you before. Maybe you can't tell. I did get gains.
When he actually saw some results,
I did get gains. Don't get me wrong. But the point I was trying to make is like, your approach to training is so holistic in the sense that it looks at the person as a person who has a life, rather than as, I don't know, as an experiment almost.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to...
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like with
that.
some... I can't speak for other PTs because I've never been trained by other PTs. But from the outside looking in...
You wouldn't want to.
From the outside looking in, it seems as though they they can just be doing it for the person to take a picture, the before and after. So my question is, have you kind of always been like that in terms of your approach from the beginning, or this has changed over your 6-7 years in the industry?
Bro, this has changed, bro, from experience. Do you know what I mean? I was that person at the start. Okay, before and after picture, that's what I need. Because at the end of the day, that's what sells your services, results. And like, that's still what sells your services now. But like, it's the direction of how you get your results now. Because if you just think, okay, cool, I have a 12-week plan. If I follow this program with Annie, she's going to smash it. No, but Annie's got trials, tribulations, barriers. She's a human being. So I've definitely learnt this with experience, like to become a people person, to understand people, to actually just to have an ability to communicate. So then it allows people to open up and actually speak to you and talk to you. Like, people tell me real personal stuff. I've got clients right now that have life-changing things going on in their lives, things that have thrown them upside down. But because now I have that experience of being a people person, I understand that things aren't always as it seems. And like, definitely at the start, it was more just, okay, complete results and orientated, not really considering, not subconsciously, because not like, okay, I don't care about you, I just want a result. That's not how I ever was. But like, through education and courses and actually studying and learning, like I did a course, I think it was a year or 2 years ago, which was called the M10 mentorship, personal trainer mentorship. So I still follow the guys on Instagram now. That, I think, for me was a pivotal process in just kind of understanding, like, they're like the pinnacle of personal trainers in the UK. Anyone that actually knows about personal trainers should actually know about these guys. And in that 6-month mentorship and in those 2-day courses that we did, that has shaped massively what I do now, and actually understood, okay, someone comes to you stressed, I'm not going to just smash you on the weights, because weights are going to naturally increase your blood pressure, which high blood pressure plus stress isn't a good combination. So we would do things that are more cardiovascular to kind of bring your heart rate down, reduce your blood pressure, reduce your stress. I would have never thought of anything like that. It's simple things like that, because I do plan things now. I have programs, but I always warm people up, get them on the cardio, get them on the treadmill, get them on the stepper or whatever, talk to them, see how they're feeling, because day to day is different. So it's just like, when you can understand people a lot more, it actually makes the process one more enjoyable and one more successful, because they actually want to come back. Because if they're having a crap day and you make them just do things that they shouldn't be doing, they're just going to have an even worse day. So it's not going to really be like, okay, I want to go back to George and just have more crap days. No.
So to stick on the point of kind of like what you've learned through your career, obviously I can see that you've learned to view the people you're training as human beings, which is obviously one of the main things you learned. What other things would you say you've learned? It's a very broad question. What do you mean?
Life experience, because you have to understand the kind of people that do personal training, not all of them are people from all walks of life. So you take like little nuggets from here, little nuggets from there. Like, I've trained people that are barristers, so I've learned a little bit about law. I've trained people that are lawyers, that, okay, how do you write contracts? It's little things like that. I've trained people that work in investment banks, so how to invest your money. I'm not saying I'm the best investment of money. Definitely not. I'd be a lot richer by now. But it's things like that, just like, naturally, by speaking to these people, you get free education, because these people are naturally very passionate about what they do for work, because they spend a lot of time working. So I've learned so many different things from people, whether they're nurses, doctors, barristers, lawyers, sports people, dietitians. My favorite dietitian client is going to be coming on the podcast soon. She knows that. But like, it's learning about those sort of things as well. And just like, subconsciously you're learning because you're just talking. And I think a lot of learning, especially from this environment, work, just comes from just doing. It's not, if I was to kind of say, you know what, the 6-week course, what I read and learned in a book, not prepared me one bit. Not one bit. So like, the learning doesn't stop, because obviously I'm going to be training new people in the future, different people, different environments, different cultures. But I'm excited to see what I develop as a person as well, because I've definitely grown as a person. There's still a lot of growing to do. I'm very ambitious and I want to grow and I want to learn more, but excited for what's to come.
George, this is so interesting, because I feel like this convo is going better than when we practiced. You know that? Because George, remember we was practicing in creams?
It's a one-take sort of thing, isn't it? I don't be talking about creams on the podcast. No. So he went to creams. We got a white chocolate party.
I went to creams.
Chocolate party waffle, man.
Stay off the waffles. But no, you're asking, bro. I can't, like, you're going in still.
Not in the program.
You're going in still, but what I love most about the answer you just gave is that maybe it's because I haven't heard any other PTs talk, but I was not expecting that answer. I was not expecting you to say what you've actually learned from these people.
Bro, you learn so much.
I never ever.
If you actually listen, use the 2 ears that you've got in the mouth.
And how important is being a listener to a personal trainer? And the reason I ask that is because naturally, fitness is your realm. You're the person coming with the expertise. So some personal trainers may see it as though, look, I know what I'm doing. Doesn't matter what you say. But I don't know how. I don't know if I would be. What's the word? Okay with that approach.
What sort of approach? I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
just follow my lead.
Yeah.
It gets you nowhere. That approach. Do you know what I mean? It's just like 2 eyes, 1 mouth. Is it 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason? But just like. People know me. I can talk forever. I could probably just take over the podcast.
You don't really talk a lot. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'm shocked. Anyone that knows me that knows that's a lie. But like, as much as I talk and as much as you don't love to hear me talk, and you're gonna love to hear me talk even more, like you need to listen more than you speak, because that approach that you were talking about is okay. Follow my lead. Like I don't need to consider you. Is bollocks. You're not gonna get nowhere with that because. Like I said, you need to listen to people because you need to listen to how they're feeling. Because if they don't want to train with you, they're not going to come back. So then how are you going to get them from A to B? Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, listen, because then you listening without even me having to say anything to you. All right, cool. So we was planning to do bench press, this, that. Okay, no, we're changing the whole... I've had to change sessions just from what I hear in the first 5 minutes of a session. 100% all the time. But like, don't be married to your program. Like a lot of trainers are just married to their program. Okay, I must stick to this despite how that person is feeling. It's not to say we're not going to get a great workout in, but this workout's going to be better because we've changed it to how your day is going. Because not every 7 days of the week is the same. But just like, there needs to be an element of trust though in the relationship, because if they don't trust you, they won't follow you and you can't lead them. Because like, not every day is perfect 100%, but just like, you still need to kind of follow some sort of a structure and follow some sort of a pathway and not, okay, something's gone wrong, I'm just going to go left. No, okay, cool. This is the barrier that's in front of me. So how do I get around this barrier? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of like my sort of approach. Now it's just like, okay, this is the plan. We can't necessarily stay to the plan to an exact T. This is the problem. Okay, how can we navigate and move around the problem? So then it's just like, okay, it's just a hump and a bump in the surface. We can just keep, it's all about, for me, it's just keeping moving forwards. Okay, if you take a step back, let's not take 2 steps back. Let's get back to where we was. Like, we've had 1 bad day. Let's not have 2 bad days. And let's just keep moving forwards. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the time, where I want to deep dive into on this podcast as well, people's mindsets and mental barriers is what stops them from moving forwards. So then I want to kind of deep dive into kind of how you can improve your mindset, how you can actually allow your mindset to actually elevate you and push you forward, because any action, progression, or any sort of thing that you do starts up here. You think, then you do. Or sometimes you think and you don't do. That sort of thing.
The question I'm about to ask might kind of contradict the question I asked before, but most things are a double-edged sword, isn't it? So as much as you need to obviously listen to your clients, 100%, we won't dispute that. Like I said before, as the trainer in the situation, you are the expert as well. So as a personal trainer, how do you strike that balance between doing what you know is right for your client whilst also listening to quote unquote their fears, or do you know what I mean? Because often they may think, oh, I can't do this. Because I remember when you would train me, I'll say things like, oh, brother, I can't do one more. And you'll be like, Jerome, like, I know you can do more. And then I'll do more. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was just giving an example. So how do you strike that balance?
So like in that sort of balance, it's just like you're telling yourself you can't do more. So that's a mindset problem because you haven't done it yet. Do you know what I mean? And like naturally, even with myself, exactly the same. I don't feel like I've got one more rep in me. But when I've got someone there like in my ear, whether I've got that rep in me or not, I'm going to go for it. And that's a mindset, not necessarily a mindset problem, but it's a mindset block. And like, I always kind of tell clients as well, just try. If you fail, you fail. So what? Like, people are afraid to fail. Fail, cool. We didn't get this pull-up today. Like, a lot of the clients that I'm working with, they're trying to get their first pull-ups. Didn't get it today. Cool. But this is where we are. Appreciate where you are because you wasn't here 2 months ago. So then now, okay, this is where we are. We keep working so then we can improve and move forward, because you have to come out of your comfort zone to an extent to actually progress. Because if you just do the same thing all the time, not to say like being active isn't positive, but like if you want to progress and you want to get stronger, you need to take yourself out of your comfort zone and push yourself. But it's mentally what is stopping us from actually taking action. Because you saying to yourself, I can't do this, but because I'm here, I'm more likely to get you to actually try. Whereas on your own, naturally, people won't actually go for it because they're maybe not very strong mentally or their mindset isn't where it needs to be. But just like the first thing you can do is just, you know what, try. And if I fail, I fail. Because a lot of the time, people don't try because they're just afraid of, okay, what if I don't get it? So what? I fail all the time. But like, these are my failures now. They're not going to be your failures in 3 months' time. So I'm failing at this weight, but before 3 months ago, I was failing at that weight. It's a better failure. Like, embrace the failure. Like, you hear this in athletes and sports people all the time. Fail, 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 fail. Like, there's nothing wrong with failing. It's just, okay, maybe failure isn't a good word. Like, challenge yourself. If you don't succeed, so what? You go back to the drawing board and just go again and again and again. And like, for you, that's where it was the problem. It was just getting your mindset right, because the gym isn't something that you've ventured into much before. So it's just like, it's a foreign environment. So I'm kind of trying to take you into that environment, but also as well, with some people, it's just depending on the person. You've got to approach them a little bit differently. It's just like, if they're really self-conscious with how they feel and how they look, especially a lot of the people I train are female, and not to be sexist at all, but like, naturally females will call the weight section the male section. Like most of the clients that I've trained, if they're on the Stairmaster, they're on the treadmill, they don't venture into the weights, but most of them now, they go into there without me because they're equipped and they're knowledgeable enough and they are confident enough. And that confidence comes from making those mistakes, trying and failing, and just like, it's not that bad. But because you don't have the knowledge and the confidence from the doing, you're not there. But then once you actually like, you know what, I'm comfortable with him, I've done these things, I've made these mistakes, it's not that bad. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of like allowing them to kind of be comfortable, because that's what it is. When you're not confident with stuff, like you probably wasn't confident in the gym, you're not comfortable. And like, we shy away from things that we're not comfortable doing naturally as people.
For sure. I think we spoke enough about you. Not in a rude way. Obviously, I can hear about you all the time. I can hear about you all the time.
Bro. Let's go. You're going to hear about this later as well. Chat.
I can obviously speak about you all the time. Do you know what I mean?
But you sound like my missus.
But obviously, the main reason we're here is to discuss why you decided to embark on this podcasting journey. And me saying it like that makes it sound as though it's like a big deal, but it is. Because naturally, you want to achieve things with this podcast. And I don't mean achieve getting 1 million subscribers. Of course, that's something we'd all like. But more so, you really want this to impact people. Yeah, so it's a big journey that you decide. You're investing in it yourself. You're paying for the studio. Do you know what I'm saying? So big up you on that. So yeah, let's get into to the podcast, man. So why, like you said, it's called the Triple M podcast. Triple M. So talk me through from ideation to where we are now.
Do you know what? I thought about what did I want to do with it. I wanted to motivate, I wanted to encourage movement, and I wanted to improve people's mindsets. And all of those words start with M. So that's why I decided to call it the Triple M podcast. And I just think they're not the only components that are important with health and fitness. There's others. And like, we're going to discuss those on a podcast, whether that's with interviews or just kind of like self-podcast as well. But like, movement. I want to encourage people to move more. A lot of the time, people aren't moving or exercising because of their own mental barriers. And it's just like, I must go to the gym. You must not need to have to go to the gym. Like, for example, you're not a big gym person, but like, okay, let me encourage you to play more sport. Go for a run, go for a cycle. Like, you being physically active is going to be a benefit to your life and make you healthier. And whereas some personal trainers, I'm not bitching and moaning about trainers, but like, this is not optimal exercise for fat loss. Who cares? I want you to start off by just moving, because you moving is going to be better than you not moving for your health. So I want to encourage people to move and kind of remove the barriers that people have behind movement, because there are, I can't be bothered, or I'm tired, or there's loads of things and loads of reasons why people don't move. So I want to deep dive into that and see how we can remove the barriers and get people more active. I want people to be more active as a result of listening. Number one, I can waffle. Number two...
That wasn't waffle. That was fantastic. No.
Number two, mindset. Everything starts within the mind. And even this is something that I'm learning about myself, because I'm finding this quite therapeutic and just opening up and speaking, because I think I've got a lot to say, and like, short form content isn't always going to be enough as much as I can waffle. But mindset, just kind of encouraging people, whether it's through education, tips, maybe having people that are more mindset clued up or specialists on here, so then they can obviously educate me to educate you. But like, if you have a stronger and a clearer mindset and like you're more focused, you're more likely to take action on the things that you either want or want to achieve. I think a better mindset will always help you. And motivation, this word, I love it and I hate it, because as a trainer and as someone that still sees people in person, oh, why are you not training? Or why, like, what makes you want to come to the gym? Oh, I want to get motivated. You don't get motivated. Or you can get motivated, but like, you don't get motivation. For me, motivation is something that you produce and create. So like, for example, let's say, generally, do you feel quite motivated?
Depends.
It should never depend. So like, people are, oh, you seem quite motivated, but I'm motivated maybe 10% of the time. What motivates me is progression and development and progress. So like, if, for example, you have a fat loss goal, you want to drop some weight or you want to fit into certain clothes, and you see yourself from where you are now, I'm not saying you're in a bad place, but let's say you've made a difference from a physical standpoint, and a difference that you've wanted to make, how would that make you feel?
Motivated.
So you create, so that's what I believe. I believe you create motivation from the actions you take. So it's encouraging people to take the right actions to get them to progress. So then that's going to put you in a feeling of motivation, because people tend to say, I only act when I'm motivated. But then if you wait around for it, it's never really going to happen. So like, it's just kind of equipping people to encourage them to do those three things, and just kind of like educating them in as well. Because when you're more motivated, you're more likely to go to the gym, you're more likely to make these positive changes, which are going to lead you in more of a positive direction. So movement, mindset, and motivation are the three main topics that we're going to be speaking about. But there's obviously going to be other topics that we're going to deep dive into as well.
Everything you said has made me excited to listen, man. Because I don't listen to no fitness podcasts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe me listening to a fitness podcast like this will help me to care more about fitness. Because I do care about fitness, but actually try to be fit.
Because you need to be.
Because exactly, we need to
like,
be.
The thing is, like, it's not about, like I said as well, a lot of people are like, oh, what is optimal? What is not? I don't care. I know as a coach what is optimal to do for glute growth. Don't have the biggest bum. Got knowledge though. But like, I've got knowledge on how to do certain things. But it's about meeting people where they are. And I want people to resonate to this podcast. And like, the reason why I wanted you on this as well, because we can have, as friends, an informal conversation. I don't want this to be serious interviews. Okay, interview starts 15:01.
Friends, bro,
like,
you're
we're in like
bro.
a bloody, what do you call it?
What do you mean,
thing.
friends? You're my little bro. What are you talking
But like, I don't want it to seem so formal that people just like, okay, this is just a scripted interview. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously off the dome, no rehearsal, no rehearsal. But just like, I want people to be able to relate to this, because people respond to things that they relate to. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you can relate to this, you can vibe with it, you can rock with it. Cool, take it to the world and back. But just like, being physically fit, and I'm not saying being the most muscular in the gym, that's not what the encouragement is. And I can obviously encourage you and give you tips and advice on if you want to do certain things. But naturally, if you're not physically fit, like I said at the start, you're shortening your lifespan. You're not necessarily being selfish, but just like, you're putting your health at risk. So then the people around you, like your future wife, your future kids, or whatever you've got going on, or your family, you want to be around for them for as long as possible. And that's quite deep. But people get hit with some serious health concerns and issues, and it just rocks them, and it just turns their world upside down. And just like, if we can limit that, and we've all got someone in our family that something like that has probably happened to once or twice, and like, you understand the effect, and like, if you're blessed enough to actually still have that family member with you, then okay, get off your ass and do something about it. And it's like, people have that mental barrier that I must go into the gym and do something. No, if you like badminton, play badminton, bro. You're not doing nothing right now. Ease and like, create natural steps that you can actually do something. Play basketball, play football, go to power league, do something that, go bloody, like, people do like twerk classes and pole dancing. Not saying I'm a fan of those, but just like, it's things that are getting people active, because they're not everyone is the fan of the gym. Not everyone wants to go to the gym. Not everyone has a gym membership. They want to do something at home. And I am going to give a workout advice, tips and tricks on this podcast as well. Things that you can kind of use. Like, I want you to be able to not use and abuse, but use and apply the things that we're talking about to benefit. I want you to listen to what I'm saying, because, and hopefully it's not all BS, and actually apply it to yourself and see a benefit from it. Literally, that's the message. Applying from what we're saying and just seeing a benefit.
Swave what you're saying, George, because it's really breaking down misconceptions, particularly around what people need to do to kind of be fit. Because I remember, and you would probably attest to this, I remember when we was in secondary school, right? We had a little gym called I think it was called the Side Gym or something in our school, innit?
Yeah.
And we're obviously 14, 15.
got
Outside of school, I'm playing football every single day, like back park, whatever. We're balling out, do you get it? But then when it came to being in school, it's like,
Still wasn't very good though.
George, we're not talking about football on this podcast, bro. Because people will not listen. If they hear how much I used to smoke you, man, not gonna rate you. Like, look, you're even making me irate. I might even have to take off my hoodie, bro, the way you're pissing me off. But anyway,
People that are not confident in their skill set get heated for no reason.
Shut up, man. What, you think you're a lawyer now? Because you train one lawyer or something? What, you think you can argue?
Multiple. I've trained multiple.
So,
I can't talk too much about that though. Private.
because I studied it. But
I forgot you did that.
you see, forgot. But
You failed and you went to fashion. That's it.
I said I failed.
Joking, not
What
at
was I
all.
gonna say? Yeah, so I remember it became, despite the fact that man is active, doing all these things that keep man fit, you have to get in the gym. It almost became as though you're not becoming a man if you don't start trying to bench 70 kg at 14. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's really, really important, and I hope that your podcast can continue to get that sort of essence across, where it's like, it's not so about, for example, even in reference to women, of course, I may be wrong and you could correct me or a woman could correct me on this. But often it's like, and I think you kind of referred to it about, I know what one may have to do for optimal glute growth.
100%.
So then, let's say a woman has a gym routine and she hasn't got fucking Romanian deadlifts in it or squats, then people are going to be like, oh, but what are you in the gym for? But maybe she just wants to build her cardiovascular fitness. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe she just wants to feel fit in that way. Maybe she doesn't want a bloody Kim Kardashian-esque body. So that's why I'm so happy that your conversations, the conversations you're going to have with your guests, are going to get that sort of essence across, because it's so important, bro.
100%. Because sorry to butt you, but like,
No, go on.
these are the barriers, these are the things and the reasons why people don't go to the gym. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, there's still a lot of people that go to the gym now that just go on the cardio machines, because a lot of the time they don't know what they're doing, and that's completely fine. We were all beginners at one stage, not knowing what we're doing, but just like, I want to break the barriers that you have for health and fitness. Just because you're not hip thrusting or squatting or whatever, like, bro, it could be your time in a month. Why are you going to put a bar in your stomach? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just because something is optimal doesn't mean it's better suited for you. For me, like, you ask me a question, okay, what's the best way to do this? I will always tell you it depends. I'll never give you a straight answer. And I'm not doing that to be difficult. Sometimes if you've annoyed me, I might be a little bit difficult. But like, what's optimal and what's best suited are two completely different things. And having optimal exercise and understanding is fantastic. Like, optimal, we want to get to where you want to go quickly. But like, if it's not suited to you, like, for example, how long have you got long legs, or have you got like an anteriorly tilted pelvis where you've got lower back pain? This might not be best suited for you, but it's an optimal exercise. It's all about just breaking the barriers, man. And just like, I'm not a hater of the gym. I work in one. I still work in one. I'm not going to online coaching and going for that laptop lifestyle yet. That's obviously something that I'm working towards. But just like, I'm still in the gym every day. I'm still training people in person. And just like, I understand what is optimal, but I also understand is what does that person need as well. And I think if we can bring optimal and what the person needs together, that's going to be what's optimal, not what the science says. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with the science, but just like, be a human a little bit. Don't be a robot. Do you know what I mean?
For sure. And hearing that again has got me excited to listen to the pod, because one thing I'm sure it will do is humanize the conversations around fitness, because not just fitness, but I think the way social media, and maybe this is a wider conversation, but I think social media has naturally dehumanized conversations around a lot of topics, because it's all about numbers and da-da-da-da. And like we were saying before, even when it comes to fitness, it's like it's only about the before and after. Do you know what I mean? Like, not reading between the lines. Like, no one, it's like people don't want to talk about what goes into that, and you know, the fact that you go into gym had to, you know, was impacted by the fact that maybe something was going on at home or something was going on at work. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, in listening to this podcast, I really want you guys, or whoever you speak to, or you, to just focus on the nuance in the fitness conversation, because I think that's where a lot of people are lost, because the nuance isn't necessarily there. Do you know what I'm saying? Someone like me, I need to hear just a little gem of really like pertinent particular thing that's going to make, from somebody else that's on this podcast, for example, that's going to make me say, you know what, rather than me thinking I need to go to the gym tomorrow and do pull-ups, I can just go for a 5K run, or even less than that. I can just go on a walk around my estate. Do you know what I'm saying? Just small things like that. So I'm hoping that we'll get more conversations like that. But going
100%.
forward, what's the rest of the podcast kind of going to look like? Like, I don't know if structure of the episodes is the right words, but what type of guests are you looking to get on? Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what? Like, to start off with, people that I know, because I've got a lot of great people around me. I'm blessed and I'm fortunate and I'm grateful.
You're dumb. You're actually dumb.
It's useless. Get him out of here. I've got a lot of good people around me in the industry. Male coaches, female coaches that maybe have extensive knowledge in topics that maybe I don't. Maybe I know a little bit about, but like they can deep dive a little bit more. So like, as much as I want to educate the people, like I'm gonna educate myself as well.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? Like I've got people that are gonna talk about nutrition, or people that are gonna talk about bodybuilding, or people that are gonna talk about holistic health. That's kind of more what I do, because I feel like that's because of the kind of person I work with. That's what they need to hear. But like, there's gonna be things for the listeners that, okay, if I want to build a little bit size of my chest, okay, this guy I can speak to, he's verified and he can talk about it. Or we can talk about reverse dieting, or we can talk about running training. Like a running coach could talk about how you can get into running. Like I haven't really planned it to a T like that, but just like obviously use the resources of the people that I've got around me. Then maybe at some stage, if people are happy to have the conversation, people that I admire on social media or in the industry, maybe potentially if I get a response and they're not too prestige, I might be able to get them down here or down to a studio that's close to them and just talk. It's just about educating the people, but in a way that's informal. I just want people to relate to this, and hopefully it's a little bit of a longer planned episode, but like hopefully you guys listen and actually take something valuable from each episode. That's kind of the message and the mission. Like if you can take something valuable that can help benefit you, literally that will make me happy at the end of the day.
What are you most excited about on this podcasting journey?
To start it, because you know how long we've been talking about this, probably since like a year and a half, 2 years, just chatting about it.
When we was in Chacos that time, bro. That was time ago.
You were just munching, just like 3 meals, bro. Just like,
whatever. I always pay when we go.
On my no carb diet. But just like for me, I struggle, man, massively. Even now in my life with things that I've got going on, it's just I struggle to kind of prioritize one thing at a time, and I'm getting better at that. This is going to be therapy for me as well. But what I want the podcast to look like is just getting started, and I'm excited to get started, to keep going, to keep flowing, and just to kind of just talk to great people, like-minded people, and just have an impact. But I'm just looking forward to having an impact in a different way, because people receive content in different ways, not just Instagram, YouTube, this and that. And hopefully, like a lot of people that I'm close to, whether that's clients, they're excited to listen to what we have to say and talk about. So like I'm excited to see what other people think. And like I always say, if you've got good feedback, bring it. Bad feedback, keep it to yourself. Bad vibes, stay away. Stay away. We don't want to hear that, man.
Hey, listen. So you also said you wanted to do like a little deep dive with me about my fitness goals or something. So I didn't agree to that. But because you've brought me here, I'm gonna do it.
Well, I guess you will if I tied you up.
Because you're my brother, you're my little bro. At the end of the day, I gotta help you out.
He needs to fix that.
You get me?
He still hasn't got his Adam's apple yet. So like for me, what I wanted to kind of deep dive in about your goal is just kind of like that's also something that I want to do on the podcast as well. Just like I don't want to just have coaches. So like I'm not necessarily gonna say like an open invitation to anyone that wants to be on it, because I want it to align with the vision that I've got. Do you know what I mean? And I think the vision will unfold as the episodes go on. But like, I want to kind of break down for people in different industries and different lines of work and different, like whether that's single mothers or just people that do different things, how we can make fitness more accessible to you, how we can improve your mindset, how we can keep you and get you motivated, and how we can get you moving. And it's kind of like, I want to have those sort of conversations as well, because if I speak to, like, let's say, for example, I don't know, I can speak to my auntie. Someone might be able to, a lot of people might be able to relate to her because they're in a similar situation, or to my brother. You know what I'm saying? Or my mum. Or I'm not saying I'm going to have my auntie, brother, and mum on the podcast, but just like having just different people that I want to speak to that are in different lines of work and careers and different fields, how we can like kind of break down to them and just kind of remove their like mental barriers on this, so that, that just kind of wow them a little bit. Because like if I was to say to you like, what's your goal? Tell me what your goal is.
You're asking me right now?
Yeah, right now on the spot.
My fitness goal.
Fitness goal, mental goal. Like let's just say like doesn't have to be a legitimate goal for yourself, but let's just say, just give me, I want to show the people how I would kind of dissect his goal and how I would kind of implement and get him to kind of take action on what he wants to do. So just give me just a random, like, okay, like what would you say like, in the next 3 to 6 months, what do you want to see change, or what is your aim and objectives for your health and fitness?
From an aesthetic standpoint, I want to lose weight around my waist.
Okay.
Drop a jean size, as they say, Special K. You remember those days?
Just Special K.
And just get back into balling, man. Obviously, you know, I used to be the truth at football. Obviously, I'm not going to try and make it pro anymore. Like, I don't really, I don't feel
Your back
like
can't take that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You can't even walk 2 meters. Like, your back.
I do my 10K steps, don't get it twisted.
10K steps. Nobody said 10K runs. I'm like, you need to stop lying, bro. Don't lie on your name.
But,
so, like,
man, I kind of want to get balling again and lose weight on my waist.
So, like, obviously, I know, like, the stuff with the back has been, like, an issue in regards to you actually running and moving and playing ball. But just, like, the main chunk of your goal is to maybe feel fitter and drop body fat. So then at the end of the day, what we would need to look at is how you eat. So then the first thing I would get you to do...
You have to talk about that.
Look at this guy. We're not going to talk about how you eat, but just like, for example, like if someone comes to me and says that to me, okay, so then what we would need to improve and change first is get you first into a physical activity routine that you can do at least 3 to 4 times a week. Because I feel like
3 to 4 times a week?
3 to 4 times a week, building up to. If you're not there, we can meet you there. We can meet you where you are. But like that's kind of like the end goal. Like we want to get you to 3 to 4 times. Let's say you're on 1. I'm not going to say, okay, you need to do 4 days next week. But the end goal, because what I've learned from my experience, like optimal, a good frequency for people to see progression, whether it's coming to fat loss, is usually 3 to 4 times a week consistently. What can you do is also, how can we build an exercise routine that you can do consistently that involves things that you need to do, things that you want to do, and things that are going to benefit you and help you. So, for example, playing football, going to the gym, or do some cardio in the gym. I don't know, going for a light jog, creating a program that you can stick to, because the best plan is the one that you can stick to. Because I could say, okay, in the gym 4 days a week, 2 upper body, 2 lower body. You're going to be like, nah, bro, forget it.
Or I'll start it and stop it within a week.
Exactly. So we'd layer on things that you enjoy, because this might not be the most optimal for his fat loss, but at the end of the day, to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So you need to move more and generally eat less. So if we can get you moving more, and it doesn't need to be necessarily very strict and rigid, then we're one step towards that. Maybe we could do like a mobility session to kind of get your lower back right, get you flexible, then just kind of get you to encourage you to look at what you're eating, because the first step to any change is being aware. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're not aware of the things that you're putting in your mouth, a lot of the time, I'm not losing weight. You're not aware of what you're eating. And I'm not saying track your calories on MyFitnessPal. Like, it will help if you have a target of what you need to intake, because you're aware, okay, this is how much my body requires to lose weight. But just like, if anyone was to, like, for 7 days, write down in a notes page what you eat and just kind of try and make healthy swaps, that's a good start. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's something that anybody can do. Like, commit to physical activity that you enjoy, whether that's going for runs, skipping, swimming, cycling, football, basketball, badminton. Start by doing something that you enjoy. Okay, cool, I want to build a bit of a chest now. Okay, then we're going to start getting into the gym, and we're going to, like, it doesn't need to be perfect straight away, but we can kind of cross that bridge as we get to it. Like, obviously, when I work with people privately, it's a little bit more supportive and directive, but just like basic tips and advice that I'm giving now, people can use and apply and use it for themselves and see a benefit. Do you know what I mean? And just like closer help and closer assistance is what I do. But if you were to do those 2 things for a couple of weeks, I guarantee you might not see a physical change straight away, but you may actually start to, I feel like I'm a bit more energetic now. I feel a little bit more happy. I feel a little less stressed. Do you know what I mean? So then you can start off by just doing things like that.
You know, everything you're saying, yeah?
All sense.
Huh?
All sense.
No, it's sense, bro.
I'm joking.
It's sense, bro. If it was, if it was nonsense, I would have told you. No, I would have told you. I would have told you on camera, bro. Me and you would have had to fight in here. You would have been angry.
Hey, that man there would be under the sofa, bro, just crying.
That's under the sofa. But yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind is, and I think this is a big barrier for a lot of people, and I'm sure you would have discussed this with a few of your clients, particularly the ones that are in demanding jobs.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing is, I work a full-time job. It's demanding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then obviously I run Where's My TV on the side. So then I think my quote-unquote excuse, I'll be honest, my excuse about not having partaken in fitness as much as one should have is that I don't have the energy and I don't have the time.
Why do you call it an excuse?
I call it an excuse because I know there's days where I'm not always doing something. So I finish work at 5 normal time, right? Could get home for 6 o'clock. Rather than me, let's say I'm not doing no Where's My TV work. Rather than me, I don't know, speaking on the phone to my bedrooms or watching something on Netflix, I could go for a run around my block. Do you know what I'm saying? I can literally do laps of my area. Because another mental barrier I have at the moment is like, I don't really want people to see me doing the fitness thing.
Why?
You get it? I don't know. It's just like, it may sound mad, but like, I just like, I spend a lot of time with people. Just naturally, family, friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a good social life, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So I've kind of always liked fitness to be either just, whether it was me and you training me or just like me in like my own
Your
world.
time.
Yeah. But now it feels like everything's so, and it's a good thing. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Everything's so community-based. It's good.
Yeah.
But now I'm saying to myself, if I go to the gym that I know I can go to, I know I'm going to see my bedrooms, and as much as I love them, I don't really want to. Do you get what I'm saying?
But are you embarrassed with like the level that you're at?
Not even, you know.
Okay.
Because I don't mind that. Like, genuinely, I don't mind that. Like, I don't really care too much about what people think in that sense. I'm just like,
Are you sure though? Because that kind of gives me the vibe that you do.
You reckon?
You do. I feel like you don't care too much, but you care a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all care to an extent what people think.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
I always used to say, I don't compare myself to others, and I don't care what people think. Naturally, I don't. I couldn't care less. But like with like social media and like watching other people doing good things, and like I've got great people around me doing great things, and like I can't help myself but to compare. I don't naturally consciously do it, but just like subconsciously I probably do it. But just with those sort of things, it's just kind of like how you can navigate that. Okay, is there a different gym that you could sign up to in your local area that maybe not everyone in your local area would go to? It might be a little bit more pricey, but then you have that sort of premium of privacy. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's, I'm not saying that's accessible to people, but just like, not to be harsh, but like sometimes when you want to get somewhere, it's not you got to do whatever it takes, but you got to make a start. And like where you said on days that you're not doing WMTV stuff and you've got more time, but you might be too tired, you don't have a routine or a plan in place. And I'm not saying you must have a 6 exercise workout program for you to complete, but like something as simple as, okay, putting in your diary when you get home, bags down, go for a run. It's not in your calendar. And I think what will be a massive tip to a lot of people that struggle to actually do organized exercises, put it in your diary. Like, a lot of you people are busy professionals, and like your meetings are in your diary. The things that are important are in your diary. And I guarantee, I say this to my clients as well, because even people I train can sometimes deprioritize or struggle to fit their sessions in outside. Just put it in your diary. Act like it's a meeting. Raise the priority level, because once you raise the priority level of something, you raise the importance. And once that thing is more important to you, for whatever reason it is to you, you're more likely to do it. I'm not saying, okay, you putting your run in your diary is going to guarantee you do it, but you're going to be more likely to do it. You might not do it today, you'll do it next week though. Do you know what I mean? So you've just got to take steps. Just sometimes you got to, you know what, just crack on, bruv. Like, because at the end of the day, like, is me caring about what or seeing certain people, am I going to allow that to hold me back to getting to where I need to be? And it's not about kind of being so, like, this topic, people can get so serious on it. Oh, you're lazy, don't make any excuses, blah, blah, blah. Let me wear nose tape, whatever, I don't know. Let me be hardcore. But like, sometimes you just got to take action and just forget what people think.
Yeah, no, I hear it. And I like how you questioned me and you said, are you sure that's not the reason though? I like how you asked me that, because things like that have definitely crossed my mind. Where
They're
I'm
not
like,
conscious. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
they're
true. Yeah, it's
because
true.
we don't like I'm saying with me, like, I don't feel like I naturally I could compare myself to you, but I don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Or he's got a nice car and he's a friend of mine. I rate you, bro. Like, smashing it. You're doing amazing. I don't negatively compare myself to this person, but like, I might in a corner of my, I wish I had a better car like that.
Yeah.
But it's no malice, it's no hate for that person. Like, you're my friend, I love you, you're smashing it, I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you. But like, but I want that as well. Why do I not have, you know what I mean? Like, it's little things like that. You don't intentionally do those things, but it's sometimes it can just stick in your head.
Yeah, no, real talk. We're human beings at the end of the day. And as much as we have power over our minds are also very powerful. So they do a lot of things. It does a lot of things that we just can't control. Do you know what I'm saying?
Look at the time with this one, boy. Jeez.
Yeah, no. I've been watching it. That's how I've been going into different parts of the conversation at different points, innit?
Obviously, like, real podcasters would know that.
Yeah,
me and
mate,
just wing it, you know,
Mate,
like that.
experience, man. Happens.
watching
But
the clock.
you're natural though, George. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not just saying that to gas you up on camera. Like, you're good
appreciate
at this. Like, you're very eloquent. And you know, I always make jokes about certain words and that.
What's that? Vocab?
About the vocabulary.
How do you spell
I
it?
don't know if you had your ready break this morning or you read the dictionary this morning.
Ready break. What would Uncle Eddie say? Jesus Christ.
What, he said we can't eat? Oh, you don't want man to eat cereal?
Cereal, bro.
He does a bit too much though on the low though.
Right, let me not get into Uncle Eddie.
Yeah,
now,
that's his own episode.
You have to take Uncle Eddie with a pinch of salt in it.
You reckon, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. I rate what he says with certain things, but like, I don't want to get into it too much in it. But like,
Okay.
it's like you can't fully listen to every single thing the guy says. But that's just my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, he's 60, he looks great, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to get onto this podcast and just moan about other people, but just like, I rate what he's doing. Like, I proper rate what he's doing because as like, a lot of fitness professionals will probably be like, I'm scared because he's making so much money, he's taking all these clients, blah, blah, blah. But like, he's helping people see a difference. But then certain people have their opinion, and I think everyone's entitled to an opinion. But yeah, man. No, really, bro.
Yeah. But going back to the point I was making about me kind of using my lifestyle as an excuse, or me feeling like having a healthy fitness life isn't conducive to the way I kind of live currently in terms of work and side hustles or whatever. How does one overcome that mental barrier? Because I know I'm not the only person that thinks like this.
That it's not conducive.
Yeah.
What do you mean by it's not conducive?
As in, I've convinced myself that if I spend because for me, going to the gym, that's at least 2 hours out of my night. So let me just break things down here. So let's say I'm working from the office in Central, right? I'll get home at 6:30.
6:30?
Cool. I'd have to, or let's say, because to save time, I could go straight to the gym. So cool, let's say I've gone to White City House. I can get to White City House for
I was baiting out where his gym is.
Oh shit, yeah. Imagine if this goes viral
CEO of WMTV, White City House.
Listen, imagine this goes viral. We've got to bleep that out, we'll bleep that out. But yeah, so let's say I get there for 6:30 in the gym. I know I'm not going to be out of the gym till 8:30.
What are you doing in the gym, bruv?
True, but I mean, let's say forget out of the gym. I won't be home overall till about 8, 8:30.
Yeah, you get a pedicure or something.
Wait, cool. Let me keep going.
So 8, half
So
8
it's
at home,
8:30 and I'm at home.
Okay.
I would have showered at the gym. So now I got to eat. Let's say my wonderful sister has made us food. So I've got food ready. Cool.
Shout out, sis.
Shout out, sis. 9 o'clock I've eaten.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I haven't mentioned what I need to do for myself. So let's say I need to make some reels for WMTV or something. So I need to do. Let me give you a better example. When we drop an episode for WMTV, yeah, I need to watch the episode, even though I've been the person interviewing it. I need to watch the full thing and take notes for the
I have to
timestamps.
watch the whole thing.
So, for example, there's an episode. The last episode we did was an hour and a half. That's gonna take me 3 hours to watch it, take the timestamps, and like pick what should be reels and all of these things. You get it? So let's say I've done that on the 8:30 on the 9 o'clock day. Now it's what's 9 plus 3? 12 o'clock.
Oh, midnight, yeah.
Midnight. There's been no Jerome time during that time. You get it? And as much as I was being dramatic, I'm just painting what some people's day may actually be like and using that as a way to show why someone like me kind of chooses, even though I know I shouldn't, bear that in mind,
100%.
chooses to ignore the fact that I need to get fit. Do you get what I'm saying? So if I brought this all to you, what do you say to me?
Lovely stuff. But it's not even that you're ignoring it. It's just not a priority to you. You're not ignoring it because you're aware of it. It's just you're choosing not to prioritize it. And it's not a negative thing as well. Like, and I want to come across as an individual that people can relate to. So it's easier for me. I work in a gym. I can go to the gym. I can take time out of my day in between clients. Some would say I'm a drug dealer because I can train at 11 o'clock in the morning. Not everyone can. But just like, if we're really starting from the ground up, I would kind of think, okay, what are your most freer days that you can just go and do half an hour? Just start off small, because where a lot of people's barriers are is that they go into the gym or they want to go to the gym. New Year's resolutions is, I hate people. Oh my God, you're a PT. You must love January. I hate January. I don't want new January people. But it's just like, how can I get into the gym and do something small? Whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Start small, because you're probably thinking, okay, I need to do an hour. Why? You don't do anything, not to put you down. But
No.
Like, start small, because that's how you build motivation, by building momentum and just building confidence. And just like, you could do a 20-minute workout at home, or you can do a 20-minute workout at the gym. But like, even, let's say for example, you do 0, and like I said again, this isn't the most optimal way of fat loss. But like, we're thinking of how can we get Jerome moving forwards slowly, and you're not always going to get Jerome moving forwards just like that. Things take time. So I would just say if you're doing JT, government names, shouldn't be using them. But like, let's say you're doing 0 out of 7 days. Why not start off with 1? And like a lot of people say, oh, like that's not going to do anything for you. Yes, it will.
That's so true.
It's more than what you're doing before. And like as a coach, it might not be the most optimal frequency for fat loss. Who cares? I want to get you moving, building habit, building momentum. So then you are like, you might be putting off the gym because you're not confident in the gym. Because remember, we used to train together in a private gym. White City House isn't a private gym. Other people go there.
Bro, celebs go there, bro. I can see Will Smith in there, bro.
The membership, man. Aye, White City House, shout me. But that's what I'm saying. Start off with 1. If you can do 2, fantastic. If you can do 3, fantastic. If you can do 4, well done, fantastic. But like, start somewhere so then you can take steps and move forward. That's kind of what I would suggest to you. You got to think, okay, look at your day. Prioritize your time, because we spend time on our phones doing nonsense. But like, if you're at work between a certain hours of the day, whether you're on your phone doing nonsense or not, it doesn't really make a difference because you're there within those hours set. But like, I would start off by, you know what? Let's not add any external stress. Let's go to the gym or do a home workout, whatever it is, or a run or whatever sort of activity it is, or go to football or to badminton or to swimming on the day that you've got less going on, because there is going to be days that you have slightly less going on.
100%.
But then also as well, with the WNTV episodes, can I do an hour and a half tonight?
Half.
Can
one
I?
day, half.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you maybe the way you're set up with how you work is, okay, I just do it all in one go.
Bro,
and
you
that
know me, I'm
works
all or nothing, bro. You know me.
But then let's not get too all in, so then we've got nothing to show for it.
Wow. You saying you're rapping now, yeah?
I'm taking your job. Hey, Gabs, shout me. You need a new host.
No, kind of, that was 30 still.
If only you could dress, that would be a bad thing. But like, people overcomplicate the process of just doing too much at the start. Like, you see, like, this is why a lot of you are going to be able to relate to what I'm going to say right now. You go to the gym and you sign up with good intentions in January. Why are you not there in February and March? Because you're doing too much too quickly. But I'm not going to get in shape in time. Listen, it takes time to get out of shape. You need to give time to get into shape. And like, it's not the sexiest approach to be consistent and take things slower, but like, see fitness as a lifelong journey. Like, I wasn't going to, I'm not going to say that. I don't want people to know I'm a criminal. But like, not a criminal.
I'm trying to think, what crimes has he done?
No crimes. I was going to say, a good friend of mine, who shall not be named, he makes jokes about me in it, but it's just like, fitness is a lifelong thing. And like, when you shift your mindset from a 4-week transformation to I'm doing this lifelong. Your mindset shifts because you're not in such a rush and you're not so pressured to do certain things at times. Take the slower approach. Slower is faster.
Have you heard of the tortoise and the hare?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. That's pretty much what you're saying, though.
But that's what it is, though. It's because, like, for example, you could be like, you know what? I've been training for 4, 5, 6 years, however long. I would say I'm in good shape. And like, I'm not in a rush to transform my body. I feel like when I go on holiday, I'm ready and I'm confident and I'm happy. You're maybe, for example, not saying this is the real you, you might not be in shape right now. Okay, cool. I've got a holiday in 6 weeks. I need to smash it 7 days a week.
That's why I'm not going DLT Mortal, bro.
But that approach, you probably won't even last to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You've not seen a difference, so you're not motivated, or it doesn't work. Then you go back to square one. Take the slower approach. And like, I always invite my DMs to be open to people. If you ever have questions, if you ever want to ask things, just ask. Asking a question does not come out a price tag for me. I know some people, it might feel like that, but just like, if you've got a question, if I'm able to answer it, I'll help and I'll answer, because I'm sick and tired of people getting this New Year's resolution mindset and not getting nowhere. Why are you still in the same position you was in last year? And like, it's not to say, okay, you're still fat. No, I don't call people fat, but just like,
you're still not where you want to be.
You could have done something this year, massive. Like, if people give themselves a year, you could literally change your whole trajectory of your life. If you give us, but like, a year's too long.
Yeah.
But like, what? I don't know what. Like, for some people, what needs to happen?
Bro, how comes we stopped training? Was it my back? Because I was enjoying it so much, and I was
enjoying it, but you stopped it.
The reason why I brought it up now.
I fix backs.
The reason why I brought it up now is because what you're talking about reminds me of the approach you had for me, where you was basically trying to show me that, Jerome, you don't need to rush it. Like you would get me doing light stuff at first, and then incrementally we'll just start working our way up. And then I was really seeing those changes incrementally. People were seeing it.
And that's when you know you're progressing. When people are telling you they can see differences in you, that's when you know you're progressing, because either it could be physical or like the way you move, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you actually conduct yourself, and the way you like, okay, my chest is out, it's a baggy top. You can't really see my chest, but like your confidence will change. And I think I can't really recall to an extent why we stopped training.
Yeah, we didn't have a convo about it. It was obviously me.
I think the studio kind of came to an end. But that's another topic to talk about, obviously, how
But it definitely had nothing to do with that, though. I'm pretty sure it was just I think there was one time I played football and my back was just like...
I think it just got to a point where just like things were just kind of getting worse with your back.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, not that I didn't push you and encourage you to get back into the gym, but like one thing that I don't do is I don't force people in the gym. You got to want it. And I feel like maybe at that time, there could have been things going on. People don't need to know about your whole business. But like, if I have to force someone and kind of mentally drag you into the gym, it's not the right time. And sometimes the best way to kind of get through to someone is to step back and let them kind of, you know what, let me take that step myself. Because a lot of the time, you can. I've had clients that I've trained for years and they've still not switched on. But sometimes bad things have to happen to people for them to actually know what, I'm going to step up and do something. But like, you've got to want to change yourself. Like, no one else could. I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. Do you know what I mean?
That's just a fact of life. Cool. So enough about Jerome now. Oh my days, I need to log into your laptop, see the notes. Go on, type in your password. What? You're not going to tell me your password now?
No. People don't need to know who my...
Broski, you're my little bro.
People don't know. They don't need to know who my two nearest and dearest little people are.
Oh, that's it. I know the names.
No
I know
names,
your
bro.
password then.
No names, bro.
I know your password.
My two little nearest and dearest, man. My little heartbeats. I can't even spell their names right now. What's going on? What the... Hold on a second there, people.
George, have a look though. You pretty much covered everything, you know. Have a look.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a quick look.
No, I feel like... No, 100%.
Close it.
There's nothing else there,
Yeah. But yeah, George, that was a great conversation.
Thank you, bro.
And I'm so, like I said at the beginning, bro, I'm super proud of you, man. And I'm just happy for you because you've helped me so much in my life. And maybe I don't give you your flowers, but not even when you were just training me, but the type of mindset you have towards certain things, I know I can always come to you as a brother and you would say something that will help me. Do you know what I'm saying? It will resonate with me. So I know that with this podcast, it's really going to impact people, man.
I hope so.
So I'm really, really excited for your journey. I can't wait to see the type of guests you get on, the type of conversations you have. And yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible journey, bro. So good luck and well done.
Likewise, bro. I just wanted to say as well, just exactly likewise, isn't it? Just like I can speak to you about certain things and you can be real about it. And I want to have real conversations with people. Like I said, I don't want it to be scripted and just feel unnatural. But just thank you very much. Hopefully the people will thank you as well for taking the time to do this. I appreciate you. I appreciate you actually taking the time. And hopefully, like I said, someone can benefit from this. They can actually relate to this. And obviously this is just the first one. A little bit longer than, you know what, I don't even know if you know what? Look, good things take time, innit? Do you know what I mean? So there's no rush. But yeah, thank you, bro.
Come on, bro. My kitty, man. Love my broski. But what I think you should do is, I don't know if you've got particular socials for the podcast in particular yet, but you can just kind of tell them where to find you. Do you know what I mean? So look into that camera and just...
So to find me, George Pitsialis _PT. So that's GeorgePitsialis. That's the government name. So I am my brand _PT. So that is me on Instagram. That's the main social media that I'm going to be on. So if you're tuning in to Apple Music, Spotify, all of that good stuff, YouTube, the podcast, we're going to aim to get it on all social media platforms. So you can obviously hear this and dissect this in different ways, whether you want to listen to it, whether you want to hear it. Hopefully you want to hear my voice and hopefully you like the sound of my voice. We're going to obviously chop this down into shorter little videos as well, little snippets, little snapshots. So I'm always open to feedback. So if you have anything that you want to talk about or want us to talk about and to dissect and just to kind of give you a bit of insight and light on, let us know. Like I said, this podcast is to encourage you to move better, to improve that mindset, to keep you motivated, but also it's for the people, to the people. Peace.